What are the 6 fat loss mistakes I've learned over time? Welcome to my channel. This is Roshni Sangvi. I'm a registered holistic nutritionist. I work with entrepreneurs and people, basically helping them make healthy lifestyle choices to reverse chronic diseases. When it comes to fat loss, I've had quite the journey from being obese to being anorexic to being a bodybuilder to being a powerlifter. I've gone through multiple phases. And what are the top 6 lessons I've learned over time? Number 1, we give too much importance to high intensity interval training and not enough importance to moderate intensity training. What is the difference and what does this mean? Now, let's say you're going to the gym and you're giving your all out. You're working very, very intense, and especially as a beginner, you're going to come back and you're going to have a lot of body pains and aches and inflammation and not want to go back to the gym. It's classical conditioning, right? So if you touch an electric wire and it gives you a shock, you're not going to want to touch it again, right? Same thing with exercise. Going too fast, too hard, and having too much of injury or body pains or inflammation makes you want to repulse and not want to go back to that exercise form. Versus choosing moderate intensity training, even as simple as walking. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do resistance training. Resistance training is my favorite form of exercise. But if you're a beginner just starting with walking and coupling that with music or podcast listening or walking with a partner or friend and talking, but making that activity fun, something you look forward to, you're going to be more consistent. Interestingly, moderate intensity training works much better when it comes to tapping stubborn fat loss, the stubborn fat around your belly or your arms, than high intensity interval training. And most often when you're obese, starting with moderate intensity training is way much more than enough. So choose an activity which is easy to do, fun to do, you have fun doing. Even going in the pool and spending 1 hour, you don't even have to like swim constantly, but really just moving around, or a fun Zumba class. Even Pilates or yoga or fitness in the gym can be fun, but make it slow. Don't go all in, all out too fast. That really is helpful. Number 2, calorie counting, not very important. I work with people who've gone through fad diets and extreme low calorie diets and calorie counting and struggle with eating disorders to hear where I'm coming from. Unless you're trying to lose that last few kilos or come to a body fat percentage which is very, very low and unhealthy for you, calorie counting is really not important. There's so many lifestyle factors which can impact how those calories act in your body. For instance, if I were to eat a slice of pizza in the morning, me, same person, eating a slice of pizza in the morning, about 20% of those calories from pizza gets converted to body fat. But if I, same person, eats the same slice of pizza in the evening, the second half of the day or towards midnight, a lot more, about or up to 80% of those calories get converted to body fat. So here, the lesson we are learning is circadian cycle is much, much more important than just calorie counting. If you're interested in this topic, this is a very interesting book. It's by Dr. Sachin Panda and it's called The Circadian Code, How Circadian Cycle Influences Your how the body stores calorie or converts body fat. But this is not just one. Your gut microbiome and your stress and your sleeping habits, all of this can have an impact on your total calories. In fact, just choosing low calorie, high fiber foods like fruits and vegetables and whole grains and legumes will make sure that you're full faster, stay under a certain calorie range, and you don't have to do calorie counting. Calorie counting is really not as important. I've seen a lot of people with food associated disorders, with negative associations and eating disorders. Does not even have to be full-fledged like anorexia or bulimia, but even just negative association with food and worry and anxiety around food because they've been calorie counting for a very long time. So for a lot of people, especially obesity and trying to lose weight, don't have to worry about calorie counting. Just make the right lifestyle changes. Number 3, oil-free cooking is actually very, very easy, and oils take up a lot of it's fat, it's dense in calories, and you're not getting a lot of nutrients for the amount of calories you're getting. And oil-free cooking is surprisingly very easy if you do it, the first few times and learn the techniques to cook oil-free. It's really, really easy, especially things which are made in the pressure cooker. For instance, now always, whenever sambar is made or dals are made or khichdi is made or pongal is made, anything which is pressure cooker made in the house is always oil-free, and we don't miss the taste of oil at all. In fact, when it's served in the dining table, no one even realizes that this is oil-free. So oil-free cooking is relatively easy. Most of us tend to overeat in the form of oils because you're eating oily food, you're not feeling full, and you continue eating, and oil is very dense and high in fats and gets converted to fats in the body and raises your triglyceride level. It's not healthy for you. Try to see if you can do 50 to 80% of your cooking oil-free. It's actually very, very easy because the grain component, mostly the roti, the rice, the millets which we cook are mostly oil-free. Salads are oil-free. Dals can be easily made oil-free. The little bit of oil which is going in the sabzis, completely fine. That's not going to hamper. Or start with one oil-free meal per day, like make oat bowls or porridge bowls or dalia, and basically smoothies, that kind of breakfast which can be naturally made oil-free, and keep your oil consumption to the remaining meals. But don't have oil all 3 meals. You really don't need it, and it's not going to hamper the taste of your food by a lot. Number 4, say no to alcohol. For so many reasons. Whenever I talk to this about clients, they say that, but I only have gin and tonic, which is X calories, or I only have a glass of wine, which is healthy. Whatever excuse you're giving yourself, say no to alcohol. Think about this. When you fall down and you hurt yourself and you have a wound, you're going to apply alcohol on the wound, right? And what does the alcohol do? It's getting rid of the infectious bacteria, which otherwise would be dangerous for you. You're putting this inside your body. Imagine the damage it's doing to your gut microbiome. And alcohol does not selectively impact the bad gut microbiome. It's destroying everything, the good and the bad gut microbiome. Gut health can be a determination of your total body weight. It can be a determination of how many calories you store at body fat, your metabolism, everything depends on your gut health. And optimal gut health is really longevity and freedom from chronic diseases. Alcohol is destroying gut health. It has an impact on your sex hormones. You feel horrible the next day morning when you wake up after alcohol, and you're more likely to give in to your cravings and eat something bad. You want to skip your workout sessions. When you're under the influence of alcohol, you consume more calories than needed for the body without realizing. Your hunger and satiety hormone are haywire. Don't have alcohol. If you're serious about your fat loss goals, don't give yourself any excuses. No one drink over the weekend. No only one beer. No wine is healthier than other drinks. No just low calorie drinks. No, I won't have mocktails, but I'll have just spirit on the rocks. No, just absolutely no. If you're serious about your weight loss goals and you want to lose weight effortlessly, no to alcohol. Number 5, and I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but hear me out. And this is coming from my life experiences based on the clients I meet. You really don't need protein powder. You don't need protein powder. How often do you wake up to seeing news like this in the newspaper? You don't know what you're consuming, yeah? And especially when it comes to whey and casein, they are carcinogenic. They are inflammatory to a lot of people. Many people cannot break them down. People get acne and bad gut issues with the whey and casein because it's made from milk. With plant-based protein powders, again, puts you at the risk of heavy metal toxicity in the body. You don't know what you're consuming. There are a lot of additives which are not probably healthy for you, and you're consuming this on a daily basis. You can meet your protein requirements through your food. I'm not saying protein is not important, but when it comes to your weight loss goals, not muscle gain, weight loss goals, you really don't need protein powders. I see clients on a daily basis who consume way too many supplements and are now struggling with issues like IBS, IBD, or chronic kidney diseases, kidney stones, and I see that they are not healthy. So from my life experiences, and telling this purely from a fat loss perspective, particularly someone who's obese and trying to lose weight, you don't need protein powder. Interestingly, when you compare protein to fiber, in terms of food groups that helps you reach satiety faster, feel full faster, and helps you lose more weight effortlessly, it's fiber. Fiber trumps protein. So as long as you're on a high fiber diet, which is eating a lot of legumes and pulses and whole grains, you're going to feel fuller faster, but also effortlessly lose weight. With proteins, excess proteins when taken in the body also get converted to body fat. So with a lot of people, if your go-to thing is, I'm going to start a supplement and then that's going to help me lose weight, you really don't need protein powder. Yes, there are people who are looking for actively gaining muscle mass or gaining weight and who have a hard time in general gaining weight or muscle mass. You might have to add a little bit of proteins, but otherwise you can definitely, easily, if I, being on a plant-based diet, can reach my protein requirements through my food, and I'm physically active for 1 to 1.5 hours with really vigorous training on a daily basis, you can reach your requirements. Work with an expert. You might have to work with an expert to obviously work out the details, but it's definitely possible to completely avoid supplements and protein powders. And number 6, do not underestimate your circadian cycle. Your circadian health determines a lot of things, especially when it comes to your willpower and your drive. The amount of deep sleep you're getting at night, the amount of restorative sleep you're getting at night will determine your willpower for the entire next day. That is your ability to give in to cravings or to say yes to exercise sessions, your willpower. Your circadian health can also have an impact on your insulin resistance, which basically is how much of calories your body is converting to body fat. Circadian health can have an impact on multiple factors. So working on your circadian, your sleep health is very important. Does that mean 8 to 10 hours of sleep? Not necessary. Inculcating healthy sleep practices, sleeping at a good, don't sleep very late into the night, wake up at a reasonable hour, practicing non-doing techniques before going to sleep like yoga nidra, or practicing techniques before going to sleep that helps you with increasing the restorative sleep and restfulness. All of these can have a huge impact. Sleep is also recovery. So the better you sleep, the better you recover. The better you're recovered, inflammation levels are lower, and this can have an impact in terms of how fast you're losing weight. So these are some of the mistakes I've made in the past. Don't do the same thing, and hopefully this video provides you with some clarity in terms of how to fast forward your weight loss goals. Hope this helps.